Hello, everyone. This is Alora Murray, and I am your host for this episode of Fresh Off the Set. And I am thrilled to be sitting down with Janessa, who is one of my favorite content creators. Not a day goes by where I don't go to her profile and see what she has up, because her profile is so full of joy and humor and relatability. And I am so excited to have you here, Janessa.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
We love it. And I mean, I wish you guys were sitting here. It never ceases to amaze me the amount of glorious hair Janessa has on her head. I am just telling all of you, it is like what dreams are made of. You should have been cast as Rapunzel in the new Tangled, and they could have just used your hair.
I always say it's like the best thing I got from my parents was my hair, you know?
I mean, it's stunning. But, you know, hair aside, let's talk more about you. Your bio on Instagram, it says it all. You are a mom, a wife, a sister, and a friend. When did you realize that, you know what, your everyday life could be such amazing content?
You know, it kind of started in 2020 with the pandemic. I feel like a lot of TikTokers, that was the time they started, right? I just had my third baby and I was kind of looking for the next outlet. What's my next thing? You know, what am I going to do? And I actually had a cousin who started posting on TikTok and she took off.
Yes, she did.
Yes, Sasha Sloan.
I love your cousin.
Yes.
She's fantastic. And she took off in 2020.
She did. She was Miss Utah at the time. She went to Miss America, and she ended up starting a business called Archive Sunday during that time and using TikTok to promote her business, which no one was really doing at the time. And so I ended up kind of working alongside her, being her right-hand person. I would go to events with her and help her film, and she really taught me all the ins and outs of filming, editing, TikTok. And for years, she was really encouraging me to pursue it myself, and I was just a little too nervous. I didn't know what I had to share, right? And so it took me a little while to get brave, but in 2022, I just said, why not? No one I know is really on TikTok, so I'll just start making videos and throwing them up there. And it's just fun. If I go back and look at that content, it's, you could say it's cringy or whatnot, but I was just having a good time. And slowly over time, I feel like I really got my footing. I started making videos for brands and really getting my reps in. And then I slowly started moving it over to Instagram as I got a little more brave. And now I'm posting almost daily and I still just have so much fun with it.
I love that. And I think there are so many people that can relate to what you said. They kind of want to take, they want to dip their toe in it. They want to do it, but they think to themselves, well, what do I have to post?
Yeah.
What am I going to post? And that's one of the great things about your page is, like I've said, it is so relatable and people love that. So what made you decide to kind of lean into the humor of motherhood and marriage, which so many people on these platforms are going through?
Yes. I always tell people that when you are creating content, you want to do one of two things. You either want to educate or you want to entertain. When people go to watch something, they want to learn something or they want to be entertained. They want to laugh, right? I don't know if I'm the best person to educate. I don't know if I have anything in particular that I feel confident in educating necessarily. I mean, I think I have a lot of wisdom as a mom of 5, but I majored in musical theater. So I think I'm much more, prone to go to the entertainment route.
Right.
And so it just kind of naturally led into how can I take who I am and the experiences I've had and make something fun, right? Make it entertaining, make people want to watch my stuff and, scroll through it.
I love that. And truly being able to make someone laugh is such a gift.
Yes.
And you have cracked that code.
Oh, thank you.
Because you have these videos that are just so full of humor and light. And that is what I look for on social media, is to find those things that make us feel better. And that's what your content does.
Thanks. Yeah, I think you just want to connect with it. I don't want to make things that aren't necessarily about me. I do want to make them relatable. So every time I make a video, I'm like, this isn't about Janessa. It's not about my life or, necessarily. It's what is the universal experience we're all having here, or that some people, some demographic is having, right?
I love that because I've heard someone say, I can't remember who said it, something about content that's create what you wish was out there.
Yes. Yeah.
And I love that you're doing that. And I mean, you have the cutest family, the sweetest husband. How do you know when something is oh my gosh, this is content worthy? And then something that you're like, you know what, this is private?
Yeah, I think people who vlog, that's got to be a really hard balance, right? If you're vlogging your life and figuring that out, I kind of have leaned the other direction where I kind of go more trend driven and more like soundbite. So truthfully, I don't share much of our private life. So I'm not sharing like the little things my kids are going through. But at the end of the day, I did film a lot when I gave birth, right? Which you would think is a very, very private experience.
Yes.
Most women, you know, maybe want to film it for themselves to watch at home. But the last 2 babies that I've had, I've gone to the hospital with like a whole folder of saved ideas. And I spend the first few hours in the hospital, like filming TikToks. But it's just so much fun for me. And that's like, I don't really share, I'm not sharing like the nitty gritty, like real, like here's me like giving birth necessarily.
Yeah.
But I'm like taking some time in that private moment to share some stuff.
Well,
you
and
know?
I want to talk more about that. How did you know? Because honestly, when I was in labor, I was like, I don't want anyone looking at me.
I think that's the norm. I'm probably the odd one here.
I don't want any, but the things you posted are so funny, especially the one with your sister, how she is just dancing away while you are. How did you think to yourself, you know what? I think this is going to be really funny, relatable content to film while I'm literally in labor.
You know, if the first time I did it was, let's see, like 3 years ago, and I'd already had 3 kids, and I've always gone and I've gotten an epidural, and I've had just like really smooth, nice labors. Like, thank goodness. And I've loved giving birth, and I've loved it so much. I feel like I almost wanted to bottle it up or, you know, make the most of it because it's just my favorite day. If I could give birth over and over, I would.
Oh man. I'm like, good for you, girlfriend. And that's why you have 5 kids.
Yeah. Like, I truly love it. And so to look back is just so fun. And so I don't know, just while I'm pregnant, I kind of would think of ideas and I'd save them. And it's kind of like, we'll see how the day goes. But if I'm just sitting there waiting to push a baby out and just waiting for my body to do its thing, like, why not? You know, I could turn on the TV and watch Bachelor in Paradise, or I could film a TikTok. And so with my son, Calvin, I filmed a couple. My husband was in a bunch of them, and my sister was there, and she was in a bunch. And, you know, we're just shaking booty or doing funny little sound bites, you know, and they really took off. So when I got pregnant again with my 5th, I was like, well, we're going to call this the content baby. And, you know, I just kind of knew, like, if everything goes well, we're going to just have a fun day at the hospital. And when we went in, we've like filmed a ton from like 9 to noon, and I got all my ideas done. And then I took a nap, and 2 hours later I had a baby.
Oh my goodness. That is the dream that everyone has. I'm like, cause that was not my experience with labor, but I love that you were like, well, if I have the time, I'm going to do this. And you mentioned, I mean, your husband is in quite a few of your videos. How does he feel about being a part of, you know, your videos and your humor and your storytelling? Does he love it, or is he kind of like, okay?
You know, it's not the career path he has chosen. Him and I are opposites in a lot of ways. He's an introvert. He's a finance guy. He's all about like charts and numbers. Whereas like I'm a creative, artistic brain, you know, but he's honestly like my biggest support. And
I love
we met in high school, and we were paired together in like our senior skit. And so like when we first started dating, it was because we were doing like a skit together. And so it's kind of fun now as like adults. It almost feels like we're like going back to those high school roots of like when we fell in love. And, you know, I find sometimes we'll start like filming something and we're just like, it's just not clicking. And we'll be like, not today. Like, let's not film this today, you know? And it's like, I only want to do it if it's fun. Right. And he's such a good sport. He sees how much like joy I get from it and fulfillment. And so he's always like, whatever you need. And, you know, I don't think he'll make an account anytime soon. And frankly, he doesn't even have social media most of the time. Like it's deleted off his app right now. So he doesn't even know like what I'm even posting on my page.
I love it. And I want to ask, so you just said, if it's not fun, you don't want to do this. So has this been for you, this whole process of growing as a content creator, been about fun rather than, some people take it super seriously? And they're like, I have to take this super seriously. This is my business. This is my livelihood. Is it just about fun for you? Like, where do you see it going?
Yeah, that's a great question. For me personally, yes. Like my personal page has always been like, this is my creative outlet. I've been able to make regular content for a couple brands. And so I kind of have that as my job. And that's a part-time job that I have where every week I make videos for a brand called Keto Chow and a brand called Hearth Display. And so I've been doing that for about 3 years. So I do have like videos that I have to make, and that is important. And then on my personal, I'm like, and then this is where I just get to be silly, right? I don't have anyone telling me what I have to make, and I can make anything I want, right? And I can put as much time into it as I want. And last year was when I kind of like was like, you know what? I'm spending all this time building other people's businesses, and I have since 2020. And maybe it's time to like put a little bit more time into mine. And so last year I kind of started focusing more on mine, and I've seen like some nice steady growth, but I'm also a mom of 5 and I'm stay at home with my kids. I don't have any hired help. And so, I definitely have to like find that balance of it. And sometimes I do get like, I'm kind of type A and I'm always doing so many things, and it's easy to get, oh my gosh, there's so much I want to do. I don't have the time to do it, and I can get overwhelmed and stressed. But then I have to like take a breath and be like, no one's pushing you to do anything. And you can like, you have your whole life to do this, like you don't have to hit a certain number by a certain age or anything like that. Like I can be doing this when I'm 50 and, and if I never grow up, then, oh, well, right. Yeah. Like, it's like one of the benefits I love of it is like getting to go to events or connect with people, and those things are coming. And so, it's great. We just have to like live in the moment of where we're at now.
And you mentioned that you could do this till, you're 50. I think a lot of people think to themselves, oh, I'm not this age demographic on TikTok, or I'm not this age demographic on Instagram, or I'm too old, my time has gone past. And you're like, no.
Oh, absolutely not. No, because everyone's on some sort of social media, right? Like I post on all of them, basically, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I've just started putting stuff on YouTube, and you're going to get different people, right? Watching each. And I love like the older moms who post, and I think it's so fun. And they probably have a lot more time when their kids are all in high school and they're at home. And I'm like, oh, that'll be nice. I look forward to that time when, like having that to do. I'm like, this is a like career, or just a fun hobby or outlet at the same time that I can do for as long as I want.
Speaking of moms, what is the most common reaction you get from moms who maybe, see themselves in your post, are like, oh yeah, I see that. I understand that.
Yes, I mean, I think it's just that. I hope and think that they feel seen, right? And I find that my videos are just shared like crazy, right? They're shared in people's stories or they're sent. And I'm like, every time someone sends this video, it's because either they see themselves or they see someone else, right? And that's what I love is that relatability. I hope they feel like, oh, someone else is going through this too, and they're laughing about it, right? Versus crying about it, right? Like the late night feeds or the hard pregnancy pains that you go through or things like that. Like, most of us are going through those things at some point, right? Yeah. Or a marriage, whatever, your husband doesn't want this, but you do, we all, there's so much ups and downs in life. And so I'm hoping when they're on my page, they feel seen, right?
Honestly, and I've said this before in another podcast, I think ultimately that's what people want, is to be seen.
Yeah.
And so when you're honest with, something funny that happened to you or a challenge that you decided to make funny and people feel seen, that does a lot for people.
We're all looking for connection, right? Yeah. We've lost so much of it and in the pandemic and all that, and just maybe as a society in general, we're not as much of a village anymore. We're not like raising our kids with our neighbors and things like that. And we're all addicted to social media and we're on it and we're scrolling, right? And you don't who wants to feel outcast? You don't want to see, I don't know, there's so much curated stuff.
Oh, I totally get what you're saying.
That you hope, and I think we've seen social media change. Instagram isn't perfectly curated anymore for the most part. And I'm hoping it continues to shift to just more authentic, right? And we want to feel connection at the end of the day.
And I've talked to you when my baby was colicky for about 5 months. It was really, really hard. And I lived for content that other moms, other parents were making, that were taking that situation and making it humorous, or taking that situation and being like, I see you.
Yeah.
I lived for that that new mom content because I just needed to know that someone out there was going through what I was going through.
Yes. Or even being educated, right? Like learning tips and stuff too.
And I think that's why it's so amazing that there are as many content creators as there are, because they're not all the same and they're all going to take a different approach to things.
Yes.
Like you. And I mean, you, like I said, you are so good at coming up with ideas and just nailing it. Where do you get your inspiration? Like you talked about, you want to be relatable, you want it to be fun, but where does that inspiration come from?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot maybe just because I have 5 kids and I've, lived a certain life and each kid is different. So you're learning and growing. But the truth is I scroll social media a lot more than I'd like to admit. And, and that is the thing, like, because I work for a couple brands, I always am looking for ideas for them and they're very different, aesthetics and what they need. And then I'm looking for stuff for me. So as I'm scrolling, I'm constantly like, oh, like this idea could work for this brand if I tweak it this way, or I'm pretty good at like seeing something and knowing if it has viral potential or knowing what the trends are.
I'm going to hire you to help me because I have no idea what has viral potential.
Well, it's hard. It really is. It's like about the hours put in, kind of with any hobby. If you want to be an expert, quote unquote, in anything, it's about hours, right? Like anyone can learn any skill or anything if they put the right number of hours. And unfortunately, I am putting way too many hours into social media and just have for the last, for years. And so I scroll a lot and, and I'll see something and be like, okay, this sound I can tell is going viral. How can I take that trend and turn it into marriage humor or motherhood humor,
Well, and how do you, staying on trend, social media has changed so much and I have tried to keep up with it. I've tried all sorts of things. How do you see a trend and you're like, okay, that's going to be a great trend, but how do you stay authentic to these trends and authentic to yourselves? Because really trends kind of dictate a lot of what people post, but how do you take that and still stay authentic?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I don't really know. I think that, you see a trend and it's either a lot of us are just copying each other, right? Just in general, it's like bound to happen. If there's a dance, everyone's going to do the dance. Or,
I was joking with my co-host. I was like, right now I feel like TikTok is kind of like a club. People are either yapping or dancing. Yes. And we're all doing the same dance.
Yeah. And so, yes, sometimes it is like you just kind of see the same things and that's just bound to happen. And like, if you're a creator, you're going to do some of that. And it is like the trying to be creative. So sometimes I'll film it. It'll take days or weeks to even think of like, how do I make this different? Right. And sometimes I don't get there. And, so that is like a hard part. And finding the authenticness, like I always want to be authentic and I want to be me, but I'm also trying to be like a generalized for everyone. Right. So I'm like, what is the thing that's authentic to someone out there?
Well, and on that note, because you said that you're pretty good at knowing what will go viral and things like that, is there any piece of content that you've created that just went viral, just blew up and actually shocked you? Why? How big it went?
Yes. I think mostly like all my hospital videos, I think when I went in, we made like 30 to 50 TikToks when I just had my most recent baby. And I kind of knew those would go viral, but there was one in particular that I'd filmed right after giving birth and I had it in my drafts. And just like 2 weeks ago, I was kind of clearing out my drafts and I thought, oh my gosh, I still have another video in from when I gave birth. People are so sick of this. There's no way. Like, I should not post this. People are like, I feel like you've been having a baby, giving birth for 6 months now.
It was a very long pregnancy.
Yes, a very long birth
labor.
experience. I said, and I'm like, I really shouldn't post this. People like it. Too much time has passed, but I'm like, you never know. I made it, and so there's trial reels right now where you can put videos out and they don't go to your followers. They just like go out to the For You page. Yes. So I was like, well, I might as well like put this on trial reels, and get it out of my drafts. And it has 5 million views in the last week. I don't know. It's kind of like gross. I sneeze and it makes this sound, and I'm holding the baby and it's like I stand up and I sneeze and it's like, something like what they don't tell you about after giving birth. So it's kind of like, a little grosser content. Like not really. It's very relatable and very real.
If you have given birth,
that
is factual.
It is. I'm like, I'm pretty sure every woman has experienced this. But, I'm like, I could not have told you that one would get 5 million, right? And will only continue to grow. So there you have it.
I love that for you. And I think you should keep posting all the birth stuff all the time because it's still funny because every time you post, there's someone new that has just given birth or someone new that is pregnant or
it's true.
Something like that. So I feel like that as many drafts as you have, post them all. I love it.
Do I need to have another baby? I mean, I don't know.
Well, you're such a good mom and your kids are so happy and you have easy pregnancies.
No, it's like I love them and I love my babies. And so it's hard to stop. But
so let's talk about that a little more. You love, and it's clear as day, how much you love your kids and your husband and this beautiful family you've created. How do you balance creating content and being present with that beautiful family of yours?
It is the hardest part. And I don't think it's talked about enough, like how much social media like sucks you in. I think it sucks everyone in, people who aren't creating content, right? Like I said, like we are all like addicted to our phones and social media and all this stuff. Like we end the night like in bed scrolling instead of spending quality time with our partners, right? And then when you're creating content, it's just so hard. And it's hard to really call it a job, right? And I don't have a nanny and go to an office, right? And sometimes every now and then I like maybe even cry about it and go like, I just wish I could like go to an office like once or twice a week so that I don't feel like I'm being a distracted parent, right? It is a hard thing. I have not figured it out. To be totally honest, it's something I'm constantly working on is being present with my kids, being present with my husband, but still finding the time to do what I need to do and what I want to do, right? And so it is a lot of late nights. I'm, usually my nighttime after the kids are asleep, like I'm working on editing from 9 to midnight, I'm so in love with my husband and that's so important to me, right? At the end of the day, like my kids are going to grow up and leave and my husband's who I'm left with. So I prioritize date nights and, I think it's hard. And all these people, everyone wants to dive into content creation now. It seems so attainable because it is, right? You don't need a degree to do it. You can do it at any age. Anyone could do it, right? And I never want to like discourage someone from sharing who they are if they feel called to share. But the reality is if you really want to do it, it quickly becomes like a full-time job.
I respect so much how honest you were with that answer because I feel when I'm scrolling on social media that so many moms make it look so easy. Like it's like, well, I do this all the time and then I'm with my kids all the time and then I have this job and it's like, well, you can't do it all because we literally only have 24 hours in a day.
It's so hard. And yes, I agree. I think a lot of people are on social media saying like, I'm making so much through content creation. I don't think that's true. It takes a long time to get there. It truly takes years and hours and hours and hours creating, figuring it out, like honing it in. I think I'm where I'm at, where I am making money because I started in 2022, right? I've been doing it and I've been doing consistently. I'm at the point where I'm posting daily. I've figured out my niche. It is attainable. And anyone can do it. But you really have to think like, is this worth my time?
And I think, again, being so honest I started 3 years ago and I've kept going and it is attainable. I think we did a while ago, I think someone did a survey and a bunch of kids that are going into college now. I don't know if they're Gen Alphas or Gen Zs that are headed into college. I think it's Gen Z. I think it was like 70% of them. It was a crazy high number. I'd have to look. That might be too high. Want to be content creators as their career, which is amazing because you control your hours and things like that. But so often, like you've said, people don't talk about how hard it is. You can absolutely do it. And any dream you have in life is worth chasing if you're ready to put the work in it. And even if, and correct me if I'm wrong, even if you go viral overnight, that one viral video isn't enough.
Oh, absolutely
because people
not.
are going to expect more from you, similar to the viral video you just put out. And this isn't to discourage anyone or anything. It's the truth of content creation that I don't think people talk about a lot.
Yes. No, like right for the last 4 months, my Instagram has had anywhere from 10 million to 22 million views like every 30 days. It'll be like in the last 30 days, you've had 22 million views on your page. And that number has been there for about 4 months. Like I'm getting so much virality, but my follower growth is minimal, right? I maybe grow like 1,000 or 2,000 a month, right? It's not like those 22 million people are following me and now I'm, have all these brand deals coming in with all this money. It's like you can get virality, but it doesn't equal dollars, and virality doesn't equal success necessarily, right? It's all this weird number game, and it can bog you down. There's so much more. If you think there's comparison in regular scrolling, there's even more comparison once you're creating, right?
And I mean, again, to say that's not to discourage anyone. It's just that it's all about, if you want to be a content creator, it's like you said, do you have joy in it? Because if you don't have joy in it, it's going to wear you down.
Yeah.
It's going to quickly take you down, and it may not be, what you want to do, because it is a lot of work.
Yeah. And the hard thing is social media is changing, and it's becoming so much social selling. It's like all you're seeing is ads, right? People make videos. Every video you're like, was that an ad? Like some you can really tell, and others you're like, that was probably an ad. Or, you see this thing, you're like, I want to buy that thing. Like it's almost just like we're watching ads over and over, and it's becoming more and more. I kind of wonder if social media has already like had its peak, and it's like, who's going to want to watch if it's still ads? And hearing that such a high percentage like want to be content creators, like at the end of the day, they're all just going to end up making ads, right?
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair, I think that percentage was a little too high, but it was a very high percentage. And you're right, because when people talk about making money off of social media, a lot of time it's through making ads or creating a product of your own and then selling it.
Yes. Yeah. My heart really just wants my page to be not an ad, right? I'm like, I don't want my page to be to sell, which is why I love making videos for brands. Doing UGC or like working for them on the side is so great. And I'm like, if you want to be a content creator, that's what I recommend. Like go work in social media for a company, right?
I love it.
And like get your reps in there, learn the ways, and then like really see like do I enjoy doing this? Do I feel like I've got a different something to say, right? And then kind of dive into your own.
I think that's great. And like I said, I've said it 3 times, we don't want to discourage anyone. It's just like, you know what? Every dream, I say this all the time. A dream was placed in your heart for a reason, and you need to go after it. And no dream worth chasing is easy. And content creation is no different.
Yes.
So what advice would you give to other moms who are hearing you and they're like, I am ready to put in the work. I have this great idea, all this stuff, but I'm too afraid to put myself out there.
Oh, I just don't be afraid, because I know that's like easier to say than do, but it's this big void. Like everyone, just throw something up there. You never know. Pick a platform that maybe feels a little more safe to you. Like TikTok felt more safe to me, right?
That's how I feel, because like most of the people I don't know are on TikTok, but everyone I know is on Instagram.
Because we grew up like with Instagram. So like our friends were following us. Like you wouldn't catch me dead putting my stuff on Facebook, because it was like, that was like the first, social media. But I'm like, TikTok was like the Wild West. It's like, just like, go somewhere that feels a little safe. Start an account, like throw it up there. Or I don't know, like if I'm a big proponent of like, everyone is so special and magical in their own selves, right? Absolutely. And like, there's no reason not to be authentic. Like no one wants you to be fake, right? I just value like honesty and realism so much, and just be you, because you have something to share, right? If it gives you a creative outlet, like if you're a mom and you are just like, wow, motherhood is so much harder than I thought it would be, or I'm drowning in it, or I've lost my spark. I don't feel like I'm myself. Like, and making videos seems fun. Like just do it for the outlet. Do it for the fun. You don't need to do it to get PR or brand deals or make money, right? Like do it as a hobby. Like instead of, you could craft, you could sew, you could, get into exercising. Like it's just another thing like that. Like start making videos.
There, you hit the nail on the head. I think as most humans, there's part of us that we just really want to create.
Yeah.
Whether that be through musical theater or drawing or acting. And truthfully, content creation is just a way to create. And if you are having the time of your life filming and you have a bunch of drafts and you don't want to, post them, at least you've had fun making them. But if you've had so much fun making them and enjoying it, it's going to be more likely than not that people will see your joy.
Yes.
And want to follow what you're creating.
That's exactly right. Like if you're doing something from a place of joy, it's only going to bring joy to others, right?
Okay, Janessa, where can we go to follow you?
Oh, I am Janessa Z. It's Janessaz on Instagram, and then Janessa Zech on TikTok.
I love it. Okay, and before we wrap up, I do this with all my guests. I do something called the Fresh Five, where I ask you 5 random questions so we can get to know you a little bit, a little bit more. So the first question is, who is your favorite child? I'm just kidding.
I'm like, well, it changes daily, but I'm sure I have an answer.
I'm just messing with you. I had to do it because I know you had 5. I'm just teasing you. You're like, okay, well, I guess I'll tell her.
I'm like, and?
What is your favorite holiday and why?
Oh, okay. I am such a Halloween girl. I
Yes,
think
you are.
If you follow me, you're going to see my content shifts in Halloween because I get really crafty. I love to make decorations. I decorate the inside, outside of my house. I usually throw a huge Harry Potter party.
Yes, you do.
I love to dress up. So I love to go to events and dress up. And Halloween is the time when everyone loves to dress up. So
I swear you had like 4 different costumes last year.
we do a family costume, and then the kids get their own costume on real Halloween. So we always at least do 2. But then if I do Harry Potter, I also have a Harry Potter costume. So yes, big costume time.
I ask this question quite often, but it is because I love Harry Potter. And so I will ask this question to any guest who knows what I'm talking about. Okay. What house are you in?
I am a Hufflepuff, which I don't think like high school Janessa, I would have been like, ew, no, I'm not a Hufflepuff, And I think maybe motherhood changed me, but I really value loyalty and honesty and just like all the good. It's shiny, yellow, happy.
Some of my favorite people are Hufflepuffs, and I love that. So
you're a Slytherin, is that right?
Close. I'm a Gryffindor.
That's
okay. But it's funny because I mentioned this on another podcast. My husband is always like, "Are you sure you're not just like a super nice Slytherin?"
Well, yeah, because there's those sneaky Slytherins where you're like, you're not a Slytherin, and if you actually know like what a Slytherin is, some of the nicest people are Slytherins.
We were just talking about Sasha, and I had lunch with her once, and I was talking to her, and I said something about like being really determined and something, and she was like, "Are you a Slytherin?" And I was like, "You and my husband," because I do get that sometimes, but I'm a Gryffindor.
I think we all probably have like our first house, and then we kind of have like a secondary house,
and then it's about like which house you'd pick. The hat was on your head.
Yeah, you're like, but then everyone just wants to be a Gryffindor because of the golden trio.
And then sometimes I say that, and I'm like, I'm a Gryffindor, and people are like, "Are you?" I'm like,
"No, I am." Gryffindor. Everyone's a Gryffindor.
I could be like a Grifferin,
right?
If you combine the 2.
I think we're all a little bit of 2. Like I think like the ambitiousness of Slytherin. Like I definitely play into that too.
I love it. All right, and you talked about you graduated in musical theater. What would be your dream musical theater role?
Oh, I want to do the show Wedding Singer, which there's the movie of with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore.
Yes, I saw the musical when I was in high school on Broadway.
No one does it. I'm trying to get Centerpoint Theater shout out to do it because I really want to play Julia. It's like a dream role for me. And so I'm waiting for the day someday soon.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Well, I am manifesting that for you.
Thank you.
And last time I manifested a role for someone on the show, on the podcast, they got it.
Okay, fingers crossed.
So I'm just saying. I'm like, I'm not going to say who it is, but she did get it.
I know. I have some auditions coming up. I am hoping to get back on stage this year.
Oh,
but
I love
it won't be
that.
Wedding Singer yet. So just need a theater to do it.
If you were to go back to high school, what would be a class you wish you had taken?
Oh, I feel like high schools need to teach more of like real life skills.
Like taxes?
Sure. I mean, luckily I have a husband who does that, but
I do too.
I don't know. I just like almost like how to be a good homemaker. I know that sounds silly, but like you have to like take care of a home and you have to take care of a kids, whether or not you're a working mom or a stay-at-home mom. Like I'm like, I could have just learned like some real life skills. Because I'm not using the zoology and the, you know, math classes very much. And I could have like, you know, gotten a head start and instead of like self-teaching myself a lot of things.
And then this last question, the final 5, I ask everyone this because I think it tells so much about a person and it always ends on a great note. What is your favorite quote?
Oh no, I don't know if I like have one.
I'm sure you do. The first one that pops into your head.
I really don't know.
You're a Harry Potter girl. What is one of your favorite quotes in Harry Potter?
I like cross-stitched one on a pillow once.
What
I wish I could
it?
remember the like, oh, in the darkness, like always turn on the light or something. Yes. What is that one?
Even in the darkest of times, one must remember to turn on the light.
Look at you. You're the quote girl. Yes. I love that one. I'll go with that.
How come you love it?
Because there is always light. Like, you know, like life is heavy. There's no way to go through life without facing hard, heavy things, right? And even when someone's life looks perfect, speaking of social media, right? It can be very easily a highlight reel. People are going through things. but there is always joy to be found.
And that is the perfect way to wrap up the Fresh Vibe and this podcast. Janessa, thank you so much for being with us today. And everyone who has listened, thank you so much. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe, and we will catch you next time.
Congrats, you made it to the end. If you want to continue to freshen up your day, you can watch us on Fresh Living every weekday on CBS Channel 2 in Utah at 1 o'clock. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel, KUTV Fresh Living, and follow us on social media. We will see you next week.